All right, what is going on, everybody? Hello, hello, and welcome, my friends. welcome, my friends. Today is Tuesday, May 1st, 2018. I am Darkside Phil. Welcome to my first of two gameplay streams for the day. Today is the day. Today is the day that many have been waiting for 3 years. The day that many have waited with in heated anticipation and bated breath. All those cliches. That's right. For today, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day of the most epic rematch in game streaming history. That's right. DSP versus Ludwig, round 2. Because, ladies and gentlemen, it was a little under 3 years ago. It was actually the fall. I believe it was November 2015. When the Dark Souls, when the Bloodborne, the Old Hunters DLC actually released. And back then, quite frankly, guys, I wasn't interested in it. I was very busy among my my Fallout 4 playthrough, amongst other things. You know, there was 1 or 2 games that I had been playing at the time that I was having a lot of fun with, Fallout 4 being the most prominent of all of those. And when this Bloodborne DLC was coming out, everyone was hounding me to play. As you know, there is a group of people that love to see me play From Software games. Some people like to watch me struggle and persevere. Other people just like to see me fail. All right. And so many people wanted to see me play this DLC. And I said, listen, I'm really not interested in it. I want to finish up these main playthroughs that I'm doing. I'm really liking Fallout 4. And I don't want to do this DLC right now. Anyway, I told everyone, eventually when I get a chance later on, I would play it. Well, I literally got harassed for about 2 straight days before the DLC released. People just harassing the shit out of me, saying you should be playing this. Every stream I did, people came in and complained that I wasn't going to play the DLC, to the point where it wore me down. All right, it wore me down, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll do this stupid DLC. I don't even care. Okay, I really, that was kind of my attitude going in. I didn't even want to do it, but so many people hounded me to do it, I'll do it. Okay, and admittedly, I went into the DLC with a bad attitude because I didn't want to play it to begin with, and at that point, I was really high level. If you guys remember, in my original Bloodborne run, I grinded, so I think I was far over level 100 when I finally went into this DLC. So people said, well, since you're such so high level, you should play it New Game Plus difficulty. So I did, and it was the biggest mistake I ever made. Not only was the DLC, annoying as shit because it was New Game Plus and the enemies had different attack patterns and were doing more damage, but I couldn't even beat the first boss, Ludwig. I barely could hurt him, which is pretty bad considering that I had, beaten the entire main game, had done Chalice dungeons. I didn't beat them all, but I'd gotten pretty far in them. And I had really high level weapons, How on earth am I not hurting this boss? Now, I do remember I got past the first half of the fight. Ludwig transforms. But I never beat the second half. And basically, I spent hours on this guy. Okay, I remember correct. I believe it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Just trying to beat this one fucking boss. Okay. And I got so frustrated. At that point, I said, you know what? I don't even know why I'm doing this. I didn't want to play this DLC to begin with. I wanted to do it later on when I was more mindset on doing this. Right? I let peer pressure, well, not really peer pressure, but viewer pressure get to me. And I said, enough is enough. I'm not doing it no more. And I quit. And I never went back. And that was, 2.5 years ago. And I went back to Fallout 4, and I went back to doing what I wanted to do, which in my opinion was a lot more fun at the time. All right. But there was always this nagging thing between myself and that one viewer base that loves to see me play From Software. Will Phil ever go back to Bloodborne? Will he ever go back and not grind and legitimately, go through Bloodborne with, standard weapons and maybe more of the knowledge that he's gained of the From Software games over the years? Will we ever see Phil return truly to Bloodborne and beat it start to finish? And of course, the one lingering thing that always has reminded everyone's mind, will Phil ever go back to the Old Hunters DLC and conquer Ludwig? So guys, today's the day. If you were not here Sunday and you're not aware, I am at Ludwig. I went all the way up to him and I did unlock the boss fight. And I tried a couple times. I was basically just trying to feel it out. And I did get him down to around 50% health. But it was basically right before the transformation is where I've gotten him. I didn't get him to transform yet. So we'll see how today goes. I mean, it could either be, you know, I steamroll the guy now. Like, maybe another 2-3 more attempts, I learn his pattern, and I just destroy his ass. Or I have the same amount of frustration that I had, you know, 2.5 years ago. The thing is, like I said, unlike 2.5 years ago, I'm not over-leveled. I'm, you know, I think I'm like level 85. Or I started the DLC at level 85. So I'm just about the level that, you know, a reasonable expectation of doing the DLC. If you're not a pro fucking level from software player or whatever. But I'm not over leveled. It's not like I'm doing insane amounts of damage or anything like that. It's a pretty fair situation right now. So I guess we'll see how it goes. Alright, we'll see how it goes. So that's today's stream. Main gameplay stream here is Bloodborne. And it's going to be... I'm going to be taking on Ludwig. Head up. That's the start of the stream. And fighting him until I beat him. If I don't beat him, I guess that's the whole stream. If I do beat him, we'll be continuing on with the Old Hunters DLC. Keep in mind, at this point... At this point, I've seen nothing else of the DLC. I don't know. I have no clue what's coming up. And I made it a point that in the last 2.5 years, I did not spoil. I never looked it up. I don't know what's coming up. I know the names of the things coming up. That's it. I don't actually know what they are when it comes to boss-wise or whatever. But I know the names because people over the years have said, oh, Phil, the Orphan is worse. Orphan is the worst boss. Orphan is going to destroy you and blah, blah, blah. So I'm well aware that, you know, there are other bosses. I just have no idea what the hell they are. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And we'll go from there, right? So this is today's stream, Bloodborne, all right? Tonight, something completely different on the nighttime stream, Yakuza 6. Talk about a dichotomy between two kinds of gaming genres. Go from Bloodborne to Yakuza 6. So I'll be doing about a 2-hour stream of Yakuza 6 later tonight. Okay? And then tomorrow, I'm returning to God of War. For those of you who were here for yesterday's God of War stream, first of all, for whatever reason, it was the highest attended God of War stream I did. We had over 600 people. People were participating. People were engaging. People were talking to me constantly. It was a really great stream. It was probably the best God of War stream I've done. 3 different Valkyrie fights. I fought 3 different Valkyrie challenge boss fights, plus continued on with the story. So it was a really great stream. And I'm going to be doing more of the same come tomorrow. Okay? So it should be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will join me tomorrow for God of War. And then tomorrow night, I'm returning to Call of Duty for the first time in weeks. Call of Duty apparently has been completely redone. They patched the game and changed it a lot. Personally, I don't know what they changed. So I have no idea what these changes are. But I'm looking forward to playing a little bit of Call of Duty tomorrow night. All right? And then... Thursday, more Bloodborne. So again, depending on how I do today is going to obviously depend on what happens on Thursday during that Bloodborne stream. Will it be the final Bloodborne stream? I don't know. And then Thursday night, more Yakuza. And then this Friday, I'm completely mixing it up. Friday will be Ultra Street Fighter 2 on my main gameplay stream. And then at nighttime, it will be PUBG returning. Okay? So there you go. There you go, guys. A very fun, varied week for you guys. Lots of variety. Instead of just the same old every day like I did with God of War last week. So I think people are going to like it a lot more. And I do want to say this before we get started with anything else. Thank you guys very much recently for your support. The past, few days to almost full week. You guys have been very supportive on all the streams. You've been coming out and watching whatever I play. And, it's been really good. I hope we can keep this up, this momentum, because, Bloodborne, God of War, and then I'm thinking about playing Dead Space 2 at one point in the middle of May. And then we're going to have a bunch of new game releases this month, including State of Decay 2, H1Z1, Detroit Become Human, and the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. So there's a lot to look forward to in the month of May. Today being May 1st, by the way, a lot of you may not realize that. Today is the first day of May. April has officially come to a close. And so I'd also like to say thank you to anyone who pledged to my Patreon for the month of April. Those pledges should be getting processed shortly. They have not yet, but I believe they're going to begin to get processed today. And so by the end of this week, typically it's a Sunday night, all the pledges should have finally gotten through and processed. And I will be messaging anyone who pledged to my Patreon and has earned a perk on patreon.com. In order to get the information, I'm going to ask you, I need this information or this information in order to get you guys all, ready for your perks. Remember, it's going to be the Patron's Choice playthrough, okay? It's going to be pretty fun. I guess we're going to see what happens here in regards to what people nominate and vote, all right? Speaking of which, my website, thekingofhate.com, apparently the upgrade has been completed, but the website is not set up yet. I'm waiting to hear back from Onyx on when this process will be completed. It's not a big deal right now. There's really nothing important going on the site, but obviously I would like to try to have the site back up by the end of the week so that when I finally message patrons and say, oh, let's get you upgraded on the site or whatever, you guys are able to head over there and register and so I can upgrade you, all right? So, all that, good news, right? Good news going on, good stuff. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone who did subscribe to my channel in the month of April. All right, thank you guys very much. We did hit the subscriber goal of 450 subs at one point, which is why the Patron's Choice playthrough is happening. Now, as for the month of May, here we go, guys. Get ready, because we've got new stuff that I'm announcing right now for the very first time. All right. So the month of May, subscriber goals for the channel and the rewards that will appropriately be doled out if we hit the subscriber goals. All right. So here's the deal. I want to do 2 goals this month. One goal is I want to do a silly DSP Tries It video for like a As Seen on TV product or something very ridiculous like I did back in January. And also I want to do a marathon. And the marathon I want to do is completely different from what you would expect. Something way outside of something that I've done ever before that I think you guys would actually enjoy. All right. So what's it going to be? Well, allow me to explain. The marathon I want to do is going to be directly tying in with the release of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, okay? Now, if you like fighting games, this is going to be good for you, but also, if you like me raging, and the bottom line is if you like me playing Bloodborne, chances are you probably like to hear me rage at games when I fail. This is going to be the event you guys definitely want to see happen, all right? Are you ready? Because this is going to be a big one. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, all right, I'm going to do, in honor of the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, the Street Fighter Master Run Challenge, all right? So what is this, okay? If you guys aren't aware, the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection releases on the 29th of May, and it features a ridiculous amount of games. Are you ready? Street Fighter the original, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Hyper Fighting, which is Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha 1, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3 New Generation, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. It has all of those fucking games in it. Alright? And you might say, holy shit. Yeah, I know. That's what, 12 games in one collection. Now, the bad news is only 4 of those games have online conventionality. All right? Or conventionality. Online capability. That was completely the wrong word. And so that means only 4 games. Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha 3, and Third Strike are the only 4 games in the collection that you can play online. The rest are offline, but you still can play them. All right? So here's what I want to do. I want to do a Master Challenge run. What that means is that if we hit the subscriber goal for the month of May, I am going to be doing a marathon event, probably roughly 8 hours of gameplay, if not more, we'll see, where I'm going to attempt to play and defeat every game in the Street Fighter collection at the hardest difficulty. fuck. Just so you guys know, you have no idea how hard that's going to be. I used to play these games on the hardest difficulty back in the day, and the AI in these games cheats like fucking crazy. Okay? Like crazy. What they'll purposely do, alright, they'll wait for you to do an attack and immediately read what you're doing and do the move that'll beat it. So you'll be fighting Zangief. Okay, I'm going to throw a fireball. He'll walk just enough forward and sweep you through your fucking fireball. Counter hit. And do monstrous damage. That's how the AI is in those games. Alright, it's broken as fuck. So, what I'm going to do is attempt to beat all of these games on the hardest difficulty. Now, the thing is, I know for a fact that Street Fighter 1 is a broken game because I played it in the arcade. Street Fighter 1, if you guys aren't aware, is actually nothing like the other games. It's very different. It doesn't even play like Street Fighter. It was like the predecessor of modern Street Fighter. So what I may do is I'll probably do Street Fighter 2, Alpha, and Street Fighter 3, and leave the original Street Fighter as like a bonus. If I get through all of the others, then I'll play it. But I know for a fact it's broken as fuck. It's like I said, you can't even beat it with fighting game tactics. It's so stupid. So more than likely this challenge will only be the more modern Street Fighter, starting with Street Fighter 2. Okay? But yeah, I'm going to try to beat every one of the games in the collection. You know, sans Street Fighter 1, which really isn't part of the Street Fighter competitive, community, at the hardest difficulty against the AI. That's pretty nuts. It's going to be very challenging, and the good thing is, once you get to the end of these games, you can actually, if you lose, you can continue as much as you want, but you can pick any other character. So let's say I get to the end with Ryu, and I cannot fucking beat it with Ryu. All right, let me switch up to Guile and see if I can beat it with Guile, right? So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be pretty interesting to see, what I can do. But that's what I want to do for the goal, the subscriber goal for the month of May, all right? But that being said, that's a pretty lofty goal. Like, I've never done anything like that before, all right? And I think that it will be a really interesting challenge run. That may, if it is successful, may spur me to do other challenge runs and other styles of games as well as events, all right? Now, so you might say, all right, well, what's it going to be then? Well, what I'm going to do in honor of this already, being kind of a big thing, I am going to leave the subscriber goal for this month at 475 subs. I'm not going to change it. So it's going to stay from what it was, for April. And we're going to try to push towards 475 subs by the end of the month. Now, there's one thing you guys got to remember, all right? I'd say probably about the middle of April, someone came in and was very generous and gifted, no lie, probably between 20 to 30 subscriptions. I don't know who they were, and they never came back. It probably was someone who was just feeling generous, and, a lot of people said, hey, Phil's trying to reach a subscriber goal or whatever, and they came in and they gifted a bunch of subs. So more than likely, what's going to end up happening is probably around the middle of May, mid to late May, you're going to see a big dip in subs on the channel because those people all had gifted subs, and obviously they're not going to get auto resub. All right. So if we're going to hit this goal, we need to get working on it right now. We're 35 subscribers away from hitting the sub goal. All right. That's pretty close. All right. And, the good news is right now I'm doing Bloodborne. I'm doing God of War. I'm doing things that are bringing stream viewers in. So hopefully we can maybe get a bunch of, subscriptions in these early parts of the month. Also, keep in mind, there is a chance at the end of the month with all the new games coming out that we can see another spurt there. But we do need to hit 475 at one point during the month. So, what I will say is this. If you want to see a fun challenge run happen, first time I'm ever doing anything like this, all right, in the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, please subscribe to the channel. What do you get for subscribing? Number one, you get access to all the fun emotes that everyone uses in the channel. Number two, you don't have to watch ads when I run them. And number three, you get the cool Chat Crown badge. It is the subscriber loyalty badge. When you first subscribe, you get a bronze. After 3 months of support, a silver. Then after 6 months, a gold. And then the gold encrusted with rubies for those who have supported me for over a year. Okay? So pretty sweet. So please consider subbing. Subbing helps me tremendously. Obviously, it helps the growth of the channel. And it's going to allow this amazing challenge run to happen if we can hit $4.75 this month, okay? So hopefully you guys will spread the word now that I've told you about this. And people will get hyped for this new kind of event that I've never done before. You know, Street Fighter is the kind of game I should do it in to start. Because I am really good at the classic Street Fighter games. Oh, by the way, I know about how the AI cheats and stuff in classic Street Fighter games. So I should be able to find some AI exploits and the like. And in order to finally, you know, to beat these games. However, let me tell you, it's not going to be a cakewalk. It's going to be very fucking challenging. Because these games can be a major pain in the fucking ass when they start cheating at the highest levels. So, there you go. Alright, guys. So, outside of all that, I don't think I have much else to talk about. I do again want to say thank you guys for all the support that you've been lending recently. It's been really awesome. Alright. Real quick, I'm going to do shout-outs to those who are the current top standings for contributions this week. Then we're going to do a quick plug segment, and then I'm going to do shout-outs to those who have cheered, subbed, and tipped overnight and during today's stream, and then we're going to get started, okay? So, shout-out to the following people who are the current cheerleaders and support leaders for the week. We've got King Swaggins in first, Yusuke 14K close behind in second, Dr. Soundwave in third place, Infinite in fourth, Ultimate Boss in fifth, Woomy Girl in sixth, Smart Weirdo is tied in a four-way tie for 10th place, basically. It's Smart Weirdo, Zaranarth, In Situ, and Ludwig the Distractor in a four-way tie for 10th place for this week. Pretty awesome. Thank you guys for your support. I do appreciate that, all right? What you guys may also see is at the top of your screen, there is a stream stats counter. Yes, during the course of today's Bloodborne stream, not only will I be tracking deaths, which I estimate are going to go sky high today, but also your contributions, including anyone who subscribes, the top cheerer and the top tipper. Right now, we do have a top cheerer, and I will update that appropriately once I read through all the shout-outs, okay? So I will be updating that shortly, all right? Okay. All right, let's see here. Okay, let's do some very quick plugs, guys. All right, very quick plugs. And then we will begin with the shout-outs. So I've already mentioned Patreon, guys. I want to say again, thanks to everyone who did pledge to my April Patreon. It's now May. It's a new month. It's a new Patreon campaign. You can start to pledge for the new month right now. Anything you contribute to my Patreon over at patreon.com/darksidefil directly contributes to my ability to keep doing this full time. All right? You know, there's a lot of costs that are involved in doing this. Cost of electricity and internet and the cost of all the games, the cost of equipment. I just had to buy a new hard drive because my old one that I just bought 2 months ago crapped out on me. So I had to buy another $100 hard drive off of Amazon, you know, in order to back up video files and do all kinds of daily stuff that I need to do to get this, keep this going, all right? So that being said, anything you contribute to Patreon helps out considerably, and you earn perks for your contributions, including things like getting premium forum access, being able to nominate and vote in games for ongoing events. And for example, as I've already mentioned, later this week, people will begin to nominate and vote on games for the next Patron's Choice playthrough who contributed for April, okay? You get your questions answered on my bi-monthly show, Ask the King. You can get shout-outs in my YouTube videos, or you can even get a private Q&A video made. For the full details, head over to patreon.com/darksidefil and check it out, okay? All right, number 2, guys. There's my Teespring shop, where you can buy cool merchandise, all branded with the DSPGaming logos, etc. Some really fun stuff, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, stickers, mugs, all kinds of stuff. I personally can attest to the quality of the merch because I own a lot of it. I own 4 shirts, a sweatshirt, and a mug. And the mug I use every single day on stream. Great stuff. Anything that you buy from my Teespring shop, I get a commission for, and it helps me out, okay? So go give it a look. And, you know, thank you to anyone who does get anything. Teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. All right. All right. And then, of course, guys, certainly last but not least, all right. Last but not least, for those of you who are here live on the stream and you're hyped for today's content, you're like, man, Phil's finally taking on Ludwig after 2.5 years. He's going to seriously try to beat him. And you're hype and you're excited. You want to see the rest of the DLC and you love what I do. Maybe you get so excited you want to get a shout out. You want to contribute, right? Well, you can either cheer with bits, you can either subscribe to the channel, or you can tip me. If you do any of those three things, I will give you a verbal shout out during the course of today's stream. Now keep in mind, it is Bloodborne. So, no, if I'm in the middle of a heated boss fight, I'm probably not going to drop what I'm doing, give you a shout out, and immediately die because I was distracted. But I will do my best to keep up with all of the cheers, subs, and tips today on stream. All right. If you do wish to have a shout out, I have a couple ground rules and requirements. Number one, please be as short-winded, right, as possible. The less words you use, the more concise you are with what you say, the quicker it is for me to say it and read it and give you a shout out for it, and it keeps the stream rolling. If you do a 14-sentence paragraph, I'm probably not going to read the whole thing. All right, I'm just saying. Number two, please try to stay positive. And what I mean by that is, please no insults to me or anyone else. Please don't try to stir up drama. I don't need to know about the 4,722nd YouTuber. You know, I don't need to know about that. I don't need to know that someone else made a negative video about me, included me in a stream, name dropped me, insulted me. I don't care about that shit. All right? And vice versa. Please don't try to bait me into talking about other YouTubers. If you cheer and say, what do you think about this YouTuber? Are you going to collab with this YouTuber? I'm not even going to read it because I'm here playing a game. I'm busy. This is not the time for that kind of crap. All right? So, yes, thank you for your contributions, everyone. The bottom line is that 99% of people who understand it, and my streams do come off pretty much without a hitch usually. It's just a few people here or there who don't get it, and they want to try to stir up drama or whatever. And I get that, okay? But don't worry. I think we're going to be good. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right? Now, if you would like an on-screen animation to thank you as well for your contributions, well then, there's a few more criteria. If you either cheer 50 bits or more, if you subscribe to the channel and wait a few minutes, a share button should pop up. If you click on that share button and fill out the information, or if you tip me $5 or more, if you do any of those things, you will actually get an on-screen thank you animation that will allow you to get visual and verbal recognition for any contribution. Very awesome, right? So thank you to Popsicolo, longtime viewer, fan, and moderator who made those animations for us. Pretty cool. All right, so there you go. Now, the final thing I want to talk about before shoutouts, I just mentioned tipping, and you might say, well, tipping, how do I tip? Well, it's not like cheering or subbing, which you do through Twitch at all, okay? There's two ways you can tip. You can either look below my stream right now, and if you do, you'll see a grid of information, including a link to my YouTube channel, DSPGaming, the stream rules, which you should definitely read and understand. Very important for you to do so. All right. But also, there is a section there that says tips. And you can click on that, or there's a picture of me posing with Pokemon near that section. You can click on that. It'll take you to my tips page where you can either leave an anonymous tip or you can leave a name and a message if you'd like a shout out during the stream. In fact, someone just did, so I'm going to give them a shout out in just a moment. So there you go. Now, what if you don't see any of that information I just described? Well, more than likely what that means is you're actually on mobile. You're on a mobile version of Twitch. Mobile Twitch doesn't list all the channel information or anything. So if that's the case, if you type !tip into the stream chat, it'll actually enable the tips command, and then you can get a link that'll pop up. You click on that link, it'll take you directly to my tips page, and then you could do it via that method instead. All right. Sounds good? All right, very nice. Very, very nice. All right, it's time for shout-outs now, guys. So first of all, there were actually a significant amount of people who contributed overnight last night. I don't know what spurred them to do so, but it was pretty large. So let me go ahead and give some shout-outs where they are due. First of all, Infinite55 cheered twice overnight. Thank you very much, Infinite55, for the overnight support. Andy-tainment subscribed to the channel overnight. Andy-tainment. Thank you, Andy-tainment, for the sub. Golden Colts cheered a couple of times overnight. Thank you very much to Golden Colts. Also, Game Master is Alive cheered overnight. So shout out to him. Thank you very much for that, okay? Let's see here. Asuka's Firm Breasts. What a name. Asuka's Firm Breasts cheered overnight as well. Thank you very much for your contributions. King Swaggins cheered a couple times. First, he cheered and said, would you say that the quality of games coming out now is better or worse than games that came out 5 years ago? It all depends. It's a subjective question because it depends on what you're looking for from games. All right. I'll say this. If we're talking sheer amount of just raw gameplay, I would actually say that today, most games are better. The games today that are coming out, in a lot of ways, have a lot more focus on gameplay than anything else. There's a lot of games coming out there that are about you getting hooked on online competitive gaming and coming back again and again and again and doing grinding and doing all kinds of stuff. I mean, the Battle Royale games, any of these games that have online co-op now, like Destiny or The Division, stuff like that, ridiculous amounts of gameplay in them. But it is kind of repetitive gameplay ad nauseum. You know what I mean? So if you're talking raw gameplay, today is better. If you're talking the overall package, I sadly would have to say probably last console gen had a lot better games. You had a lot better games that had narrative, graphics, gameplay, replayability, and, length of time and immersion in this game world that were better than today. Today, it's a lot of the games are just rushed out there to make a buck rather than being even complete. Early access games that are sold that aren't even they don't even have enough content to hold up 1/5 of what a normal game used to be last console generation. And it seems like this is the new standard. This is the new normal, as they say, rather than the exception to the rule. And I know a lot of people have issue with that. Why is it that in 2018 we have to accept less for the same amount, right? Why are we paying $60 plus then, of course, DLCs and nickel and diming you with microtransactions for something that, 5-10 years ago, we would have got a game that had twice as much content, better story. You know what I mean? We're heading towards that direction because these companies are trying to make more money with less budget and less work put into the games, quite frankly. So it is what it is. Now, you get a diamond in the rough every once in a while. God of War is that diamond in the rough where, holy shit, here's a game studio that didn't care about new modern trends and patterns and put out a game with incredible amount of content, a great story, amazing graphics, amazing gameplay, tons of, length and replayability with all the hidden items and side content in the game. I mean, see what I mean? It's like very different than what you would expect from a modern game. And it's succeeding really big time. It's a huge seller right now. So it's funny because there's people who only own Xbox and they ran out and bought a PS4 to play God of War. I saw people on Twitter who were staunch Xbox supporters cave and said, that's it. This is the breaking point. I can't just have an Xbox anymore. I'm tired of missing out on all the exclusives. I'm getting a PS4 to play God of War. So, yeah. Hopefully we get more games like that. But for now, I have to say, sadly, we are kind of in a situation where modern games are not as good as they used to be because these publishers are trying to just raise the almighty dollar rather than put out a quality game experience that's going to last. I don't know what else to say. King Swag is cheered again. He said, with an increase in age, do you find yourself less motivated to play games? I know a lot of people say the older they are, the less interested in games they became. See, here's the thing. I don't think it's less interest. I think the older you get, the more wrapped up in other shit you get. So, for example, just daily life, bills, responsibilities, living with someone else, living with a girlfriend or a wife, having kids, your job, all those things take away from the time that you maybe had when you were younger to play games. Now, for me, it's actually a situation where it's different because gaming is my work. So I'm able to enjoy a ridiculous amount of video games in an era when, people getting around my age really can't game that much anymore. So I'm the exception to the rule, okay? So for me, no, I'm actually not less motivated. I enjoy playing games. I love sharing my gameplay experiences with you guys, Like I said, this last year when I became more of a live streamer than anything else, it's reinvigorated me to keep coming back day after day and share those experiences with you and be more interactive and have fun with you guys, hang out with you on a daily basis. It's a lot more fun than it ever used to be, in my opinion. So for me, it's the kind of complete opposite than what most typical people my age are experiencing, okay? So there you go. All right. And then shout out to Sedella. Sedella is back, ladies and gentlemen. Sedella, for those who don't know, went on a really long cruise in Europe. So Sedella just resubscribed to the channel for the 4th month in a row at Tier 2. So thank you, Sedella, for that Tier 2 sub. I do appreciate that. And he says, I'm back. My trip was nice, but not the best cruise that I've been on. But went to the Azores, saw the Crystal Lakes, then went to Cork, Ireland, climbed up 100 very narrow steps in Blarney Castle. Overall, Ireland is a very nice place. I think I meant to say overall, Ireland is a very nice place. Very nice. That is cool to hear, Sedella. I hope that you maybe will be relaying some stories and things from your cruise over the next, couple of days to weeks, because many of us, including myself, have never had the privilege of being on a cruise. So I have no idea what it's even like. And all you really hear, you never hear the positives. All you hear are the horror stories. Like I go on social media and, oh my God, this cruise was terrible. Thousands of people went on a boat and half the boat was being renovated. It smelled like gas. And then they didn't get to go all the places they wanted to go. And the boat was super crowded and it sucked. And then they all complained and they're filing a class action lawsuit. It's like, yeah, but if all cruises were like that, probably they wouldn't be popular. So there's got to be some positive to it, right? So yeah, welcome back. Thank you for the sub, and hope you enjoy. Buckle your pants extra tight, because Bloodborne and God of War and all kinds of fun stuff coming up shortly. It's going to be a fun week, okay? All right. Shout out to Ludwig the Detractor, who did a 500-bit cheer. And by the way, that is the top cheer for today. So Ludwig the Detractor, of all people, of all names, is the top cheerer on our leaderboard today. Let's get him up there, first of all. That's a cool way to start, I guess, with Ludwig the Detractor. Oops, I didn't put a space here. That's not right. Fuck. There we go. So, what does Ludwig say? Ludwig says, hold on. That guy's all screwed up. He says, what's up, Philly B? Ready to get your ass beat over and over until you cry and run home to mommy. Well, my mommy doesn't live at my home, but I'm looking to exact some kind of revenge from Ludwig. Hopefully I can beat him today, because I would like to see the rest of the DLC. People have told me it's really amazing, like it's a really good DLC. So I would definitely like to see the rest of it. Hopefully I can conquer Ludwig. Your boy Thump cheered and said, try not to fall during the boss fight, laughing out loud. If you don't know what he's referencing, yesterday I was playing PUBG, and I was trying to slow my car down and get out of the car at the same time to make a hasty run inside of a building near the end of the game. And the game claimed I fell and died. I'm like, huh? I was in a car. I took one step out of the car that was slowing down to try to run quickly to a building. Instant death. You fell. Sure I did. PUBG is a piece of garbage. Everyone knows it. But anyway, thank you for the reference. Sedella just cheered. Thank you, Sedella, for the cheer. And he says, it's good to be back. Detroit Become Human hype. Yes, Detroit Become Human will be out within about 3.5 weeks. It kind of stinks that all the new games coming out in April, I said April. Ugh, I got used to it being May. All the new games in May are pretty much in the second half of the month. So we are going to have to wait a little bit. The good news is having Bloodborne and God of War and other stuff to hold us over is a good thing. It's not like, oh God, it's dead. We're not doing anything fun. And so it's going to be unbearable. No, we're going to be doing fun stuff between now and then. So it should be good. All right. Son of Sapo. Or Sapo. I don't know how to pronounce it. But Son of Sapo, whatever. Give me $1 tip. Thank you very much. They said, stay strong. Phil, I'm replaying the game myself. I beat Ludwig in one go, but I'm stuck on the final boss. This DLC is out for blood. Yes, I've heard that the final boss is pretty much the hardest boss in all of From Software history. I have no idea what it is. I know his name's Orphan, but that's all I know. I don't know what the boss is, and I'm looking forward to figuring out or seeing what it is once we get there. So, all right. Shout out to The Fool, who tipped me $5 to become the top tipper. So first of all, let's get The Fool on the leaderboard here. Thank you very much to The Fool. Here we go. There we go. Okay. And The Fool asks the following. He said, Phil, can XCOM 2 win the patron's choice? Here's the thing. The XCOM games are ridiculously long, and sadly, the XCOM games require tons of grinding. Like, you can't just play through it and beat it. You have to repetitively play certain missions to get resources to upgrade your troops and the like. I know this because I played XCOM 1, and I really enjoyed it until I basically hit the wall. which was a point in the game that everyone agreed the game got incredibly difficult. You had to go back and repetitively do stages over and over to grind, and it didn't become fun anymore. So I quit the game. I'm afraid if people were to say nominate and vote in a game like XCOM 2, that's exactly what would happen. I'd start playing the game, people would be excited until I hit a point in the game where, oh god, now you can't even advance unless you sit there and grind on stages. To, no one wants to see that shit. And that's what I'm a little worried about, okay? In addition, a game like Danganronpa V3, which a lot of people have said they wanted to see for a while, I'm worried that my voice won't hold up. My voice at this point is doing better than it was for a while, but it's certainly not 100%. And I'm nervous that if I'm playing a game where every time I play it, I'm literally talking constantly, that within a week, my voice will be dead. I can't even work, so what the hell, So there's a few games in there that I am really nervous about having as games to be nominated and voted on. I'm not going to lie. So what I may do is when I do post up the information for the Patron's Choice event later this week, when the forums come back, I may post some criteria and say, all right, listen, there's certain genres of game that may go horribly wrong. It's okay if you want to nominate and vote on them, but you have to understand the premise that if the game you're nominating is, say, I don't know, longer than 10 hours, chances are it may not be a guaranteed finish because it depends on how things go, like my health with my voice, or, in the case of XCOM, how boring the game gets. Because that's the thing. There are genres of games that I know are not going to work out very well. It's one thing if it's an RPG and I could just, play it as a nighttime game and balance with the fun hype stuff. It's another thing if it's a game where I physically can't talk. You know what I mean? Or a game where I have to do 2-3 sessions of 2 hours apiece to do the same missions you've seen already, wasting time, and people will be bored as fuck and no one will show up to watch. So I'm going to probably, like I said, lay some ground rules when I do post up the information about Patron's Choice later this week. Keep in mind, this is all what-if scenario. We don't know what games people are going to nominate and vote on anyway. So I guess we'll see. Maybe shouldn't make it that big of a deal until it happens. But I will, up front, lay down some ground rules so people understand up front what's going to happen if games like that win. All right. Genetic Gamer cheered and said, look here, look, listen. A meme that has nothing to do with me. Congratulations. And NB Cole subscribe to the channel. Thank you, NB Cole, for the subscription. I appreciate that. Let's actually check and see what we're at right now. We're up to 442 subs, ladies and gents, so I will update that right now. Thank you, guys. So that means we're 33 away. 33 subs away from qualifying for the upcoming Street Fighter Master Run Challenge, which I will do if we hit 475 subs at any point during the month of May. Pretty cool, right? All right. All right, guys, so I guess that is it. Again, I want to say thank you. So let's reiterate here. If you do cheer, sub, or tip today, you'll get a shout-out. Right now, current top cheerer is Ludwig the Detractor, and top tipper is the Fool. If you cheer or tip more than those, the 500 bits or $5, you'll hit the leaderboard. So you'll be up there on the leaderboard during the course of today's session. All right. Oh, my God, excuse me. And again, shout out to everyone who's contributed so far this week. Thank you guys very much. Like I said, the streams have been very hype, very interesting, and people have absolutely loved what I've been doing. So I want to keep it up, and I want to say thank you to everyone who has contributed. All right. I guess that is it, guys. Let's go ahead. We're going to get started. Anyone else have anything else to say or talk about quickly before we get started? Not really. Looks like everyone's good. Everyone's rearing to go because people want to see me take on Ludwig again. So, all right. Thank you very much for being patient. I appreciate that. I'll now end the pre-stream, and then we will begin with the big duel that everyone's been waiting for. Me versus Ludwig. Yes, finally. The time has come. The time has come, my friends. Did a nice stretch to prepare for this. I had to stretch my body, make sure that all my muscles were loose, okay? All right, that is it. Thank you. Let's end the pre-stream, and then we will begin.